First video on the new PC. Well, not first video, but first like anime manga video on the new PC. You may hear some music in the background. I don't know. I'm looking at OBS. Not too much of it is being picked up, but some may be getting picked up. My neighbors, they want to have a party at literally 11 in the morning. Well, they started since 8 and they've been going till 11 in the morning. I understand now why people call noise complaints. You don't gotta end the party, but once it hits after 10:30, you gotta tone it down a little, you know? People trying to sleep, and in my case, I'm trying to record. Anyways, let's get on to this manga. I actually plan on recording 3 or 4 more videos tonight. One Borderlands, and then one on a visual novel, and then another one that I don't know yet, but I'm gonna get to it, or at least I hope I can. Manga, let's get on to the manga. So the manga starts off introducing us to our main character, who just so happened to be born with a rare gene that makes women automatically attracted to him. That's a pretty common fantasy power for losers. A lot of people would like to have it. Not me though, I don't need that. You see how I look? Let me not do that before I get cooked. But overall, a lot of people see this as a good thing. But in MC's case, it's more of a curse. Every girl around him likes him, except like family and stuff, obviously. But every girl around him likes him because he has a girl that he already likes. And sadly for him, the one girl that he does like doesn't really like him because she's unaffected by his powers for whatever reason. His one crush's name is Shizuka, and basically her only reason of not liking him is she just genuinely doesn't see him as a man. They were childhood best friends, so she kind of just sees him as family at that point, which cancels out his power because obviously anybody with a family bond ain't gonna find you attractive, so that makes sense. But you see, him not being with his crush is not all there is to this. That power he has isn't going to be the weirdest thing going on in this show, surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, and I just called it a show even though it's a manga. Shut the fuck up. Stop talking to me like that, bro. I'm snapping at y'all for nothing, I know. It's low-key like a mix of my neighbors still being loud as hell at 11 that's like twisting the wrong cog in my mind. I'm not even mad about nothing right now. It's just the overstim and shit. Let me record my video. Let me shut up. Him having his power ain't finna be the weirdest thing going on here. I kind of killed the transition, so we just gonna like bluntly say it here. It turns out that it's not just humans that are chasing after bro, but it is also otherworldly beings. One day Cupid themselves came down to the earthly world just to try and marry MC. You got Cupid trying to marry you, and I ain't gonna lie, she was making a lot of nice promises, but you know what? This MC got a crazy backbone, I'm not gonna lie. As I said at the start, he got his crush. He has this one girl he likes, and he was able to shut down Cupid themselves. How you shut down the goddess of love? That's Cupid, right? Or is Cupid just like the person that makes the matches, and the goddess of love is like, who is that? Mara? That's Skyrim. You know what? No, I'm gonna stick with that. I ain't doing no research. Mara. That's the goddess of love. Shout out to all my Elder Scrolls people. Now, as you know, MC has an unrequited love going on. And the fact that MC's power doesn't work on his crush, Shizuka, is kind of like a definite fact that she has no type of feeling toward him. And here is why I say this MC got a hell of a backbone, because even though it's virtually 0 chance of them getting together, MC manages to get up the courage to try to go ask her out within the first chapter. But sadly, it is the first chapter, so I don't even need to spoil it. You know that confession ain't going through, bro. It's too soon. Quite literally mid-confession, out of nowhere, 100 different monster girls popped up out of nowhere, and obviously all of them like MC. I hope you didn't think they would only throw Cupid in here. They got a variety of sorts. I don't know why I was struggling to say that shit. So all these girls popped up on MC at the worst time, completely killing the mood, or so I thought. I'm going to say this for the 50th time. MC got a crazy backbone. I low-key want to throw a pause on that, but we're going to keep it pushing. But even in the middle of all them girls chasing after him mid-confession, he still got the confession out. He don't give a fuck about what audience. He don't give a fuck about what other side bitch is confessing to him. He's only worried about doing one thing that he wanted to do. Chapter 2, by the way. Even though MC had to put up all this courage, sadly, MC, his crush ain't got the same amount of strength as he does. She kinda ends up throwing out that cliche card that everybody hates when the main girl just tells MC she doesn't know how feelings work. Like she hasn't lived for I don't know how long. I forgot how old these motherfuckers were. But every time they get confessed to, or every time MC's trying to make a major movement, they pull out the I don't know what love really is, so I can't give you a proper answer. That card be, ooh, grinding gears, no lie. But you know what? It's okay. We're only on chapter 2. So she can pull this card, I guess. At least it's not Rinse a Girlfriend when they 600 chapters in and bro's still getting rejected. I saw that shit. I ain't been reading up to it. I plan on letting that shit finish out before I start reading it. But I saw that bitch on TikTok. My bad, L spoilers. And here I go with the backbone again. Pause. But MC did not let whatever his crush was talking about waver him. I keep calling her crush. She got a name. It's Shizuka. MC doesn't let what Shizuka says waver him. He said he ain't gonna give up that easy. He said he's going to wait, chill with her, give her the time she needs to figure out whatever the fuck she need to figure out. I just smacked my mic. But basically, bro just said he ain't giving up on her yet. And MC ain't the only person who's going to hold on to some feelings. Because that same Cupid girl from earlier that got rejected told herself that she was going to keep pursuing MC even if he already got someone he liked. I feel like Cupid should know better. They Cupid. You can't try to be the homewrecker here. But honestly, don't even try to trip on the Cupid girl. She kind of ends up just becoming one of the homies. I mean, she likes MC, so I ain't gonna say she's one of the homies, but she joins the main friend group, I guess. I don't know what to call it. I won't really call it a harem. You know what? I'll call it a harem. Fuck it. She joins the main harem. I just don't know if I can call it a harem if every girl in the world fucking likes dude. I don't know if it's a harem. I feel like that's just planetary or some. I don't know what to call it. She joins the main cast and she's chill. She's a friend. She becomes friends with MC. That's the easiest fucking way to put it. I don't know why I didn't say that. But like she's respecting his boundaries and shit. She's just chilling around. And she's also been helping keep away all them other supernatural motherfuckers that been chasing after him. But the only real reason I'm bringing all that up is because she gives us a bit of info that is very important. It turns out that if a human kisses somebody from another world, they have to get married. I don't know who made that law, but it's a law. But I get they kind of had to throw that in there because this manga would be too straightforward if they didn't have a sense of threat. We already know MC's not gonna get with another girl, so how else are we gonna get drama? We gotta add a threat, and that threat being him being forced to marry someone if he kisses them. And you know, since we on the topic of smooches, out of nowhere Shizuka came up to MC trying to smooch him. The married shit don't work that way. Y'all both in the same planet. But nah, I guess she kind of just did that to try to make sense of her own feelings. The kiss obviously didn't happen. We're too soon in this for that to happen. Well, actually, we were kind of about halfway through already because the manga is only 13 chapters, but still too soon. MC and her did end up compromising on going on a little date though. And let's just say it becomes quite clear that Shizuku definitely feels something for MC. But you know, she's gonna keep it difficult by saying, I still don't know my feelings. When panel right here, she's literally passing out from them holding hands. So, I mean, I don't know how clear it could, I don't know how clearer it could get. That's not even a word, but this shit is very transparent at this point. But you know, MC's a real gentleman. Even though she's obviously being very stubborn with her own emotions. Or I don't think stubborn is like the right way to word it. She's just being stupid. Okay, let's just say that. Although she don't know what she's thinking about or what she's feeling. MC gonna be a stand-up dude and tell her, hey, don't even stress on it. We got all the time in the world. I'll wait for you. And so even though the main plot is kind of just about a whole bunch of otherworldly girls and maybe some humans time to time, just a whole bunch of girls in general chasing after MC trying to get with him. After MC and Shizuka kind of had their little date, the manga kind of just hits a little plateau and it takes the usual wholesome little romance minimal drama route. Just a cool one-on-one with MC and Shizuka as she tries to figure out her feelings and MC's just there being a stand-up dude. Or at least that's how it was supposed to go. Come on, bro, get used to my transitions at this point. If you've been here, you can see the format I usually go for already. I gotta start changing it up soon. So anyways, one day, main cast, all of them was at the beach. MC, Shizuka, couple other girls that don't need to be mentioned, and some of his homies. Who's there doesn't really matter. What does matter is that Cupid ended up drowning while they was at the beach, and that led to MC giving some mouth to reciprocator. That's the word, right? He gave her mouth to get her back conscious. Let's say that. And if you remember what I said about 3 minutes ago, if two people from other worlds smooch, they gotta get married. Even though if it was just CPR, it technically still counts as a kiss, which means that they automatically just get married. He just got forced to marry a girl that he doesn't like in front of the girl that he does like, by the way. Shizuka was also there to witness that crazy wavy navy work. Shout out V's. But luckily though for MC, there is a way to get out of this forced marriage. And it just so happens to be that he has to smooch someone he actually does like, which is bad simple. Go up to Shizuka, boom, boom. But you know it can't be that simple. It's not just MC that has to have feelings towards someone else. It has to be both partners that are smooching that have to like each other for the marriage to reverse. Now, obviously at this point, as I said, we know that Shizuka likes MC, but she herself doesn't know, so she won't smooch him. Even though she tried to 6 chapters ago about just to try to figure out her own feelings, but now the case is different. But whatever, since Shizuka still can't figure out her own feelings, there ain't much we can do about it right now. But now here's one thing from the manga that I kind of wish didn't happen. Usually in moments like this, right, Shizuka would have her own little emotional arc or whatever that ends with her figuring out however she feels about MC. That's the usual, or what's to be expected. I mean, everything doesn't have to follow that blueprint, but that's personally what I thought would be good. But obviously that did not happen, because out of nowhere this devil came up and she tried to steal Shizuka's feelings from her. And that sounds like it would have been a perfect setup to the plot I was just saying, but instead of that happening, it's Cupid's feelings that ended up getting took. And then for the next chapter or so, MC and Shizuka are just living through some of Cupid's memories, and we learned a couple things while we're looking at her memories. It turns out a long time ago when they was younger, MC and Cupid had actually met before, but in their meeting when they was younger, Cupid ended up breaking some type of angel's law or whatever, because she ended up firing off one of her arrows on MC when she wasn't supposed to. But to spare herself from any punishment back then, they chose to just erase MC's memories of the moment happening. If nobody witnessed the crime, then it don't really matter. But now that MC quite literally relived the memories that he was not supposed to remember, that crime that she did is going to be put back up. So they ended up getting placed with 2 options. Either MC and them get their memories erased and everybody forgets about Cupid even being here, or Cupid just has to go back home and face whatever she has to face. And in this case, she's going to take going back home because she'd rather not having MC forgetting about her. That would probably hurt more than her having to spend whatever time in jail she gotta spend. But her having to go back up to the heavens automatically voided their marriage, even though MC didn't have to smooch someone else that he liked. Which is exactly what I was just saying earlier when I said I wish Shizuka overcame this herself, because she quite literally just had her own character development arc took from her right here. But at least Cupid getting taken away was not for nothing, because after that Shizuka finally decided to admit that she liked MC, and then they get together and then boom, that's the end. I know I'm saying it in like a disappointing tone, but I don't hate how it ended. You know, it was a cool little bittersweet moment. You know, you lost one of the main heroines to gain the relationship with the other one that you actually like. You know, that's cool. That's expected. I just didn't expect it would take the other option literally getting sent away for the main ones to get together. And I also didn't think that our main heroine would not get her own emotional arc either. I just think it would have been better if Shizuka had her own way of getting over this. But then again, who cares what I got to say about that? I sort of expected an ending something like this that was semi-rushed. I mean, it was 13 chapters. It ain't too easy to fit a good story in 13 chapters. I mean, I've seen some. I mean, I've read some pretty good one-shots, like a 50-page singular chapter that have been amazing. I got 2 of them sitting on my shelf to the right of me, both by the same writer, by the way. Besides the ending and all that though, I will give this manga something to give itself. They took a pretty generic plot, pretty generic power, and they still made a pretty interesting manga, so shout out them. Overall, it was a pretty decent 13 chapter read. Now I'm gonna see y'all. I need to take a nap before I do my next videos because I felt myself falling asleep as I was going through this. Y'all probably noticed it too. My words started dragging and shit. I'm not drunk though. I'm tired than a bitch.